Hey guys, welcome to TST Garage. I'm Bart, and today in this video I'll be showing you how to install the TST Industries brake light modulator on your bike. Now, a brake light modulator, sometimes called a strobe, sometimes called a brake light flasher, what it does is basically enables you to install some electronics on your bike so that when you press your brakes, the brake light flashes in some kind of pattern and alerts the drivers behind you that you will be stopping. Our particular brake light modulator comes pre-wired to a plug that interfaces with a sub harness that we provide specific to your bike model that enables plug-and-play functionality with your bike. So that means that the installation is really fast and you can do it yourself. Now, the electronics inside, we do have the ability for you to program this unit to 3 different functions and then subsequently adjust the rate of the effect to your liking. Our first programmable mode is strobe alert. This mode will produce 9 flashes and then stay solid for the duration of the brake engagement. Second one is intermittent pulsar. Each cycle will flash 10 times and then pause, and then these cycles will repeat for the duration of the brake engagement. The last available option is pulsar, and this one just basically provides continuous flashing for the duration of the brake engagement. Now we will show you how to install this. It's really simple, and then after the installation chunk, I will show you in detail how to get inside here, how to program the different modes, and how to alter the rate of those different modes. We did think about the safety of such devices during the design phase. So we decided to design this in a way that it will be a pass-through component. In case you experience a failure on board here, it will just pass through your normal brake function, which means you press your brake light lights up, there's just no effect. In case you do experience that failure, we do offer a warranty, so we have guys standing by in our support department that will take your call, email, Facebook message, whatever, and we'll get you replaced. And that's pretty much it. I'm really excited to show you guys just how easy this is to put on and configure. So let's get started. All right, so for this installation, we've got ourselves here a brand new Yamaha MT-09 year 21 and up. We will be using the vehicle specific harness to make this connection plug and play. And actually on this bike, the installation is super easy. Everything's very accessible. So let's get started with step 1. That will be to remove the seat. All right, in this following step, I'm gonna identify the connector that we need to work with. This 3 conductor connector, white one here, is what we need to unplug. That leads to the taillight. It is captive on your sub tray. So we're gonna try not to pull it out of the sub tray. To disconnect it, you have to press on this tab and then pull it out like so. If you press on it with enough force, it comes out very easily. For this purpose, I like to use a flathead screwdriver. Otherwise, if you're just doing it by hand, you may not get enough clearance between the locking mechanism and you may have to exert too much force on the wires, thereby straining them. We don't want to do that. All right, we'll grab our brake light modulator and the vehicle specific harness. There's only one way to connect these components together to our brake light modulator, and the remaining plugs are basically going in series with the OEM connectors. Let's get these guys plugged in. All right, before I go any further, start distributing bulk and strapping things down, I like to test the system, make sure that we are operational. All right, we're looking good. Now, let's think about where we want to tie this off. We do have a protective sealing grommet here for the wiring, but just to be sure nothing enters the capsule, I like to point it either horizontal at least, but down is even better. Lucky for us, underneath this frame spar here is a really nice cavity where we could managed to stuff it in, and I know you can't see it on that side, so I'll demonstrate it like so here. I have another brake light modulator that can fit in there and push it up as far as it'll go, and we can make it rest here, or we could have an alternate spot for our capsule. This will require getting some of this wiring and componentry underneath. I don't like that. I'm going to disconnect it, and let's make sure that everything's nice and neat. I'm going to go under this loom here. All right, that looks pretty good here. Now what I'm showing you right now are the installation steps. Before you commit to strapping anything down and finalizing your physical installation, I would recommend that you watch the last section of this video where we show you how to take off this cap, program your functions, speed up or slow down the effect that you've chosen, and then that way you don't have to do it after the installation. Here you'll see we have a channel that is built into the body of our component for the purpose of using a strap around it. This is why I recommend programming it first and doing all the adjustments first under the cap, because the cap has to be in place for this channel to work. Get this guy under there, we could strap it to this component, but then we will also need to make sure that it's tied off to some kind of wiring component or some kind of geometry on the bottom here for the purpose of not lifting up. Even if you get it tight around this, it's pretty slippery, so it may come off. So let's see what else is available. I think this is a good bet here. I'm going to go around this harness from the bottom. Some needle nose pliers will help me in this. My sausage fingers just don't fit in there. All right, so I think if we tie off this portion of the wiring down here to that harness, and then the top to here, that'll be pretty money. We do ship these brake light modulators with 2 wire ties, so you'll have enough to make this installation just like I just did. All right, that's good to go. This is nice and tight. I'm going to cut off the excess. Okay, bulk distribution is okay. It looks like the OEM bulk distribution here with just a couple extra components. This is nice and secure. One more test, making sure I didn't dislodge any plugs. It's all good to go. Let's replace the seat. And that's it. Good to go. For mode selection and rate adjustment, we will need to get inside this capsule to access the electronics. These 2 Phillips head screws will need to be removed. What I like to do is unscrew them until they disengage from the receiving threads and leave them in the cap. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to lose them. If we pull them off with the cap, they are self-captive. All right, now we'll identify the parts here. This button is the mode selector, and this potentiometer is your rate adjuster. Clockwise is faster, counterclockwise is slower. Let's first do our selection of modes. With the brake pressed, press the button once to toggle to the next available program. Now the brake does have to be pressed so that the unit powers up, otherwise you won't be able to make the selection. If you find that you've pressed the button but the selection has not been changed, just do it again with the brake pressed. So now we will go on to the next program, press the brake once more, press the button once, and now you're in the next mode. Now we've switched twice, so pressing it one more time will return to the original mode that your unit arrived in. Now for rate adjustment, we'll be using the potentiometer. With the brake pressed, we can turn it clockwise to make it go faster, counterclockwise to decrease the rate. Now in brake alert, you will only have 9 flashes to make your adjustment, and then it'll stay solid. This one doesn't actually lend itself to really fast flashing at the top of the range. Bottom of the range is unusable, so I like to set it somewhere towards 3/4 to maybe 80% clockwise, and that does it for me. Now if we change to the next one, this one is the pulsar, and this one just keeps on flashing, so I like to have it going pretty fast here. Choice is really up to you. If you want to explore the next mode, we have the intermittent pulsar. This one to me belongs somewhere close to the top of the range, makes it the most visible. But again, freedom means choice. The decision is ultimately up to you. Once you're done with your adjustment and you're where you want to be with all your modes and rates, replace the cap, turn the screws back in, and it really is just that simple. Replace your brake light modulator in the space that you decided to keep it, and you're good to go.